In this video, I will be describing and identifying the levels of biological organization. Students understand that life can be both big and small, but they often have difficulty wrapping their heads around just the entire scale of life, or how small some parts of life truly can be. And we are going to begin with the largest level. We all live in the biosphere. What is the biosphere? It's the Earth, but specifically all of the life found on Earth, from 4-mile-long fungi to single-celled organisms. Think of sphere as our planet and bio as all of the life and non-living essential components that they need, like water and space, to survive. Life is very diverse on our planet, and our planet is large. So we've divided all the places and lifestyles organisms have into biomes. Biomes are large areas in which similar types of plants, animals, and other organisms live in. Biomes are also characterized by having similar non-living but essential components like the same temperature, amount of annual rainfall, sunlight, etc. Examples of biomes include tundra or frozen flatlands, and tropical rainforests, which make up 13% of all landmass on Earth. The largest tropical rainforest in the world is the Amazon rainforest, which is found in the upper parts of South America. Let's zoom into a small part of the Amazon rainforest. A local or smaller region in a biome is referred to as an ecosystem. An ecosystem describes all the living organisms and non-living things they need to survive, like water, air, and soil. What are some of the organisms you notice in this ecosystem? How might they interact with the non-living parts you also see in this ecosystem? If we just wanted to talk about only living organisms and not the non-living components, we would use the phrase community. Community refers to only living organisms in a local ecosystem. In this community, we have tree ferns, frogs, butterfly, panthers, and more. We are going to focus on one species, the toucan. A species is a group of organisms that reproduce with each other and can create offspring, which can also pass along traits. Some species are so large, like humans, that they have to be broken down into smaller local groups known as populations. Populations are local interbreeding groups of organisms belonging to the same species. These toucans here would be known as a population. We are going to focus in on one toucan, an organism. An organism is a single plant, animal, or life form. This toucan can do many things. In order to do all these complicated tasks, many parts of the body have to work together. The toucan is made of organ systems, or many organs that work together to do a particular task. The toucan's digestive system is made of a mouth, an esophagus, a stomach, a gizzard, and intestines to take food, break it down, get or absorb the useful parts, and then remove the useless parts. We are going to focus on one organ, the gizzard. An organ is a contained part of an organism that typically serves a specific function. Let us focus on the tissues of the gizzard. What are tissues? Tissues are groups of cells that make up organs to carry out specific tasks for that organ. For example, gizzards have large muscular tissues that are used to grind food along with stones the bird previously digested. Gizzards also contain tissue that surrounds the muscles made out of keratin, a component that's commonly found in human hair and nails to protect the muscle tissues. What are tissues made out of? Let's zoom into them. Tissues are made out of cells. Cells are the smallest self-contained units of life. All living things must be made out of cells. But what are cells made out of? Let's go ahead and zoom into them. Cells are made out of organelles. Organelles function like mini organs. Each organelle is a part of a cell that serves a specific function. The organelle we are zooming into, for example, is the nucleus. This stores all the information that makes you up. All organelles exist within the cell because they're dependent upon the cell to maintain themselves. What makes up organelles? They're made up of large molecules that are known as macromolecules, which are the building blocks of life. The nucleus stores DNA, one of the 4 macromolecules that makes up all living beings. It stores DNA on these protein structures, and when DNA is finally unwound, it looks like this double helix. DNA is a macromolecule that contains all the information you have received from your parents in order to create all of your cells, all the structures, basically how to create you. What are macromolecules like DNA made out of? Let's find out. Macromolecules are made up of molecules. Molecules are smaller chemical compounds that are then made out of atoms. What are atoms? Atoms are the smallest units of elemental matter. We organize them by the periodic table. The red dot that's shown off to the side is an example of an atom of nitrogen, and it is bound to other atoms through chemical bonds. So, what makes up an atom? Atoms are made out of subatomic particles. You have positively charged protons, you have negatively charged electrons, and then you have neutrally charged neutrons. Protons and neutrons cluster together in the center to form the nucleus of an atom. This is different from the nucleus of a cell. And electrons orbit the nucleus drawn by the positive charge. So now we're going to zoom out from the subatomic particle all the way back to the biosphere. So there you have it. Let's organize it in a concept map. Cells are made up of organelles. Organelles are made up of macromolecules. Macromolecules are made up of atoms, the smallest units of elemental matter. Tissues are made up of cells. The tissues come together and make up specific organs, and specific organs create organ systems. Those organ systems work together to make sure an organism survives. Organisms of the same species create populations. Populations of different species create biological communities. When biological communities interact with vital non-living components of their environment, they are creating a local ecosystem. Many ecosystems put together create a biome. All the biomes on the planet create the biosphere. I hope seeing how each level of biological organization builds upon each other shows how life is interconnected. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please visit my website, missaexplains.com. Take care.